Hi, this is your astrological overview for Aries season. So, Aries season signifies the beginning of the astrological calendar year. It's like the new year for the astrology season or for the astrology world. It begins at the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere, and it begins with this equal night and day. And as we move further into Aries season, as we move further into the year, the days start to become lighter and longer until we get to the summer solstice. So this is all about a season of initiation, of renewal, of rebirth, of bringing in more light, more life, and more activity into our lives, coming out of like more of a dormant, maybe winter season. One of my favorite quotes for Aries season is, "If you don't fear the unknown will be kind to you." It's a Paulo Coelho quote from the amazing book, The Alchemist. And this is one of the themes. Well, several themes for Aries season would be the themes around fearlessness, around passion, around direction, around initiation, around self-orientation. So if you think about this is the beginning of this astrological year, and which is kind of a metaphor for our lives. It is the burst of new energy. It's like the burst of new energy of life. It's like a baby, it's like a toddler. It's kind of like an immature energy as far as there is lots of self-centeredness surrounding it, and there's lots of physical action and activity and awareness. So because Aries is a cardinal fire sign, it is the fieriest of the fire sign, and fire relates to this idea of transformation, of cleansing, of strengthening, of quick and fast movement. And it's very much about physicality, about physical energy, and about the physical body. So we want to relate. We want to get back up and close, come back into our bodies again, and exercise it, feed it, cleanse it, do all the things that we would normally do, maybe for like a spring cleaning. Think about that for your physical body during Aries season. Aries is ruled by the planet Mars, and Mars is the warrior planet, and it corresponds to our third center, so our third chakra. So this third center is all about personal power, which relates very much to Aries themes. This personal power is related to courage. It's our ability to be able to brave the unknown, to be able to brave and face our challenges, knowing that that's how we will grow. That's how we will transform ourselves. That's how we will evolve ourselves, is by facing our challenges head on, and yes, acknowledging the fear that might show up, but moving forward despite the fear, which is, of course, the definition of courage. So cultivating courage, cultivating personal power, cultivating energy in your power center, which is right at the center of the body, relating to the solar plexus. It's right between the navel and the lower ribs. And so any type of exercise or yoga practice or self-care would want to be focused around this third center solar plexus area. So for example, if we're thinking about what we want to do or what we want to initiate or shift into for our exercise regimen, for Aries, it's all about stepping it up, getting a little bit stronger, becoming a little bit more active, becoming a little bit more activated. So using this support that we have right now of the cosmic Aries energy and applying it and aligning with it with our physical routine. So remember, this is really about the physicality. It's not about thinking, it's not about emotion, it's not even about anything directly connected to spirituality. It's about cultivating your physicality. So doing things that make your body stronger, doing things that make you feel stronger, and that is it can be specifically strengthening your core, doing more core work, doing more core exercises, and core being not just your abdominals, but also your obliques and sides, as well as your low back, right? All very much important areas of the body to support or to cultivate strength in, so that we can support the weakest part of the body that is not supported by the skeletal spine. So, so that's the benefit of doing core work. And of course, a yoga practice would include would include that, would include fiery, strengthening, fluid flowing work, or flows or sequencing, along with a little bit of extra core, and really activating the core with Uddiyana Bandha, which is that breath work practice that we use during our yoga, that corresponds to this pulling in and lifting up of the navel. So in yoga, that is the essential core activating movement or technique. So would want to really practice that when we're, or focus on that when we're doing our yoga practice, as well as make sure our yoga practice is somewhat strengthening, somewhat heat building, just to align with that Aries fire energy. For any type of other, self-care when it comes to third chakra, when it comes to Aries energy, it's really about looking at some of those themes of that third center that come up and that are prevalent and that are that everybody can relate to. And these are themes of confidence, of worthiness, of self-esteem, and knowing the importance of cultivating your sense of worthiness as far as consciously, right? We might consciously think that we're worthy of things, but the way that we actually really know is by just looking at our ability to be able to manifest and create things, looking at our ability to be able to focus and visualize and bring things into our physical experience and awareness. This is very empowering when we are able to do this, and when we aren't, when we are wanting of things, when we are desiring things that we feel like we can't have, whether it comes to relationships or money or career or whatever it is, the important things about life, it's really key to look at your sense of worthiness, because how worthy we feel is in direct correlation with what we will actually allow ourselves to create and bring into our life experience. So if you are not unconsciously feeling if you're not feeling worthy on an unconscious level, then sometimes a lot of things that you are looking for don't seem available to you. And it's not necessarily a physical thing. It's not necessarily a physical obstruction. It's actually more of an energetic obstruction. So when we are able to do and heal some of our worthiness issues, when we're able to do the third chakra activating work, then I think that we can all have stories and know times in our life when we really stood up for ourselves, really, even when it wasn't convenient, even when it was really hard, and did what was right for ourselves in the name of self-worth, in the name of self-love. And through that, we gained so much power and so much resilience. And with that power and resilience, it moves us forward into a direct trajectory into our potential and into our desires and wants and dreams. So definitely that would be the energetic component of Aries season that we really want to focus on and cultivate. Again, third chakra, worthiness, confidence, and self-esteem. In other words, deservingness, right? Knowing that we're all deserving of everything that we desire. As far as food and diet during the season, we want to shift into eating lighter. We want to shift into kind of like a detox and cleanse mode, right? So this is when the season shifts and the produce and the bounty of the earth shift into something different. Sprouts start to show up, leafy greens, more veggies, more fruits, things that take us out of the heavy foods of the winter season and into more of a sense of lightness, that support our higher physical activity, that support our longer days. So really focusing on clearing, maybe doing a cleanse or detox, and incorporating less heavy foods, lighter foods into our diet during Aries season and the spring season specifically for the Northern Hemisphere. A couple things to make note of as far as like full moon and new moon. When we have a new moon in Aries, it's very much the initiating energy. So again, beginning something new. Maybe it's a cleanse, maybe it's a detox, maybe it's some sort of purification, maybe it's some sort of release on a physical level, or it could be an introduction of a new routine, an introduction of a new type of workout. Anything like that has to do with your physicality would be a great time to begin during the Aries New Moon. And then for the full moon, the full moon is when the moon is in the opposite sign. And the opposite sign of Aries is Libra. And Libra is all about relationships and collaboration and partnerships. And one of the shadow sides of Aries is that they can be very impulsive, maybe insensitive, maybe a little bit self-centered, and maybe a little rash in their reactions or decisions. And therefore, that behavior can sometimes be hurtful, can sometimes cause accidental pain or shame. So a big thing to think about during any type of full moon is this idea of healing and forgiveness. And so if there is anything that needs to be healed or forgiven, whether it's for somebody else or whether it's for yourself, during the Libra full moon, during Aries season, is a great time to think about it. Journal it, do a meditation about it, maybe even consider a cord cutting ceremony. We will have a cord cutting ceremony meditation up on our site if you are interested in knowing more about that. It's only about 10-15 minutes, and it's a great tool or technique to help really release you from any type of bondage that you might feel to an old circumstance or old situation or person. So, definitely it's a great full moon activity on any full moon, but specifically during the Libra full moon in Aries season. So that is your astrological overview for Aries season. I hope you got the gist of what the season is about. It's fiery, it's passionate, it's initiatory, it's direct, it's fearless. It's about tapping into our courage. It's about taking big steps moving forward. It's about starting big projects, things that are ultimately really going to serve us in the long run. It's an investment in the self. And thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next season for Taurus season.